back with another K-pop music video reaction. I really do like the stuff. It's not like, I enjoy listening to all of it. I'm trying to do a lot of reactions so that I can build up a playlist that I can listen to, because I don't want to get ahead. I don't want to go listening to tracks and watching videos before I get to react to them. So I try to knock a bunch of them out and get a pile of songs that I can start just sort of listening to. I always hear something new, every time that I listen to one of these songs, which indicates both good composition and composition songwriting, and also good production, good mixing. And this time around, I'm going to be watching BLACKPINK with How You Like That.
BLACKPINK in your area. 보란 듯이 무너졌어. 바닥을 뚫고 저 치아까지 엊그처럼 잡겠다고 저 높이 두 손을 뻗어봐도 다시 캄캄한 이곳에 light up the sky. 네 두 눈을 보며 I kiss you bye. 실컷 비웃어라 꼴 좋으니까 이젠 너희 하나 둘 셋. How you like that? What's up? I'm right back. 방금 sweater cock back. Plain drink it hijack. Don't like me, then tell me how you like that, like that. 더 캄캄한 이곳에 shine like the stars. 그 미소를 띠며 I kiss you goodbye. 실컷 비웃어라 꼴 좋으니까 이제 너희 하나 둘 셋. How you like that?
Well, I do like that. Again, a very different style than the first BLACKPINK song and video, actually. But this was fun. This was fun. This was much more like it seemed to have a more minor sound during what you would call the chorus, right? again with the rhythms though, very different, like very different from the Ready for Love track. Featured much more of the rap styling. And also this is I in the Ready for Love video, the girls are all animated. They're in that they're like CGI, they're 3D animated. So this is the first time I've really like been able to see them really well, not animated. Let's see. Still a good mix, a good mix. The other track is just it's very different. Now I see like, because some people were commenting and saying like, oh well, this is not like the typical sound. They're sort of doing something a little bit different with Ready for Love. It wasn't bad to me. Neither one of them are I mean, I like both of them. I thought the Ready for Love track was really really good. Sort of Latin inspired rhythms, and even the chords too, because some of those vocal licks sounded very Latin jazz, like somewhere around there. This I hear I do hear more like Eastern sound. Was the beats were pretty close to like trap beats, right? I mean, for the most part, I think. Just an interesting contrast from the last video. They seem a lot more feisty in this one, a lot more like, sort of spicy or whatever. The Ready for Love was just, I don't know, it was sort of softer, sort of cleaner sounding. This is it's got a little bit more edge. They're a little bit more assertive in this one. Let me see. Good rhythms though. Good rhythms in the vocal parts. And I want to maybe listen more to some of the bass and percussion sounds.
BLACKPINK in your area. 보란 듯이 무너졌어. 바닥을 뚫고 저 지하까지.
Very interesting, like, introduction. Sort of like a brass fanfare almost, like really announcing itself, procession or something like and then these sort of little arpeggiated synth chords that come in here in the beginning. So it's an interesting way to start. It's an interesting contrast and setting up, because the progression in that with those horns was like, okay, and then this starts to establish like the groove afterwards, but it was a different way of starting. So this is very like, it's much more major sounding, and this is like the verse. So then, this chorusy part comes in. It sounds much more minor, and with that little weird synth sound that's it's going back and forth, so it's like sometimes it's low and then it's high, and then and the way that they're using it, they're just it's going. You get short intervals as the that shift from high to low is longer. It's it's cool. It's cool. I like it. I dig it. It's a different. It started off different. It had a different introduction, and then they came in with the verse with some arpeggiated chords and an overall more major sound to it, and then it went into this more minor sounding chorusy section here that brings in a very heavy like hip hop kind of a beat to it, right? It's different. It's an interesting way to structure the song.
What's up? I'm right back. 방금 sweater cock back. Plain drink get hijacked. Don't like me, then tell me how you like that, like that. 더 캄캄한 이곳에 shine like the stars. 그 미소를.
First of all, I like her. I like the rap part. It's, and then back into this. Again, these much more major sounding arpeggiated chords that look. It's some sort of percussion now. I'm not sure what exactly that is. Could be any sort of plug-in or something, but an interesting approach to it. Great use of color again in all of these videos. These are some cool set pieces. So it reminds me of like just things were like this, back in the day, 20 years ago, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, and it was fun. It was really fun. But I dig it. I dig the set pieces and the color palette and stuff. There, maybe it was also the song too, but the animation in the Ready for Love video, I don't know. They seemed a lot like less edgy, They seemed a lot more, I don't know, just kind of sweet and. Not that they aren't. I mean, I'm not saying. This one hits different though, right? Like it just. I dig it though, man. I like it. They're. They're cute. They're cute. So. It's all right. In composition. And then also in songwriting. But this is really based on a compositional thing. There's an idea called phrasing. It's because music is like a language. You spell chords, and then you set those chords in a progression, and your progression will build phrases, these sort of musical statements, right? Or musical ideas that have a completeness to them. The way that there are different types of phrases, first of all, but a common type of phrase is what they call antecedent consequent, right? So there are two parts of an idea, right? Like two halves of a whole idea. And so what the antecedent is the first part, and you hear that, and you will know that the consequent part is coming next, right? It's sort of like, think Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, da 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 da, and then it's da 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 da. It's gonna come back down, right? Because the first half is the antecedent, and the second half is the consequent. In this chorus part, I've been looking for an example of this because I heard it, and I'm pretty sure it was in the BLACKPINK video. Or no, I think it was in a Twice video. Yeah, I think it was there. But here's a basic sort of like example of something like that. Antecedent, right? How you like that, right? What's the consequent? Not that. That is the consequent. The bada bing bada boom 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 was part of the antecedent part. When she answers and it comes back down, that's going to be your consequent part. Again, that's the antecedent, right? And the look at you, now look at me. That's the consequent. See, it's like a flanged sort of synth. It's either on the percussion itself or it's something that's doubled the percussion. And the cold ending, always it's just done. It's just over. That's it. It's cool. It's a surprisingly consistent. This isn't done in that music. They used to have tracks where they would do like a fade out, so you'd still hear the track playing, and the volume would just get lower and lower until it was 0, and then the next track would start. But a different type of vibe, definitely, from the Ready for Love video. It was cool though. It was cool. I still enjoy it. Still enjoy it a lot. BLACKPINK with How You Like That. I did like it. Even though it's different from Ready for Love, I like them both. If this is something that I guess is more typical, I don't know. All of these groups so far, they have their own sound because it's dependent on like the particular voice qualities of the performers themselves, like their timbre and their pronunciation, everything. It's like they have their own sounds, but they do stuff in different styles all the time. Like, they don't have like this one hard like style that they just do over and over and over again. So who knows what's in store, right? But I do like it all so far. BLACKPINK, How You Like That.